Good morning and many thanks for watching KTN. Welcome. This is a special coverage on the 62nd Jamhuri Day celebrations, a day when Kenya said yes to free governance. Today, we will be going through the entire day with speeches that will be given, the promises of this day. Remember that this Madaraka Day is Jamhuri Day, I beg your pardon, is focused and premised on matters to do with the tourism and everything around that ecosystem. We are here to cover that and bring you where the country is at, those who will be highlighted, celebrated with regard to the good job they are doing in this sector. To help with that discussion, we'll be having a conversation with Simon Peter, who is the partnership lead MICE ambassador. And what exactly do we talk about when we talk about MICE? This is all about conventions, talk about conferences that are being held and how these is part of the tourism sector in the country and its importance in the entire ecosystem and the economy of the country. Has Kenya positioned itself as such a welcoming destination for these conferences? Because as we speak, this is equally important to supplement the traditional tourism safari that Kenya is used to. MICE will be part of the conversation today, and Simon Peter will be here to bring us up to speed and just breaking it down to understand the conversations and the integrities of the MICE industry, as well as June Chepkemoi, who is the CEO of Kenya Tourism Board. Now, we know that tourism is an integral part of Kenya's economy. Billions and billions of shillings continue to stream in due to tourism in the country, and many from far and wide come to Kenya to enjoy our safari, the animals that many would say, you and I, Kenyans, don't go to our parks to enjoy them, something that needs to change. From June's perspective, how then can Kenyans tap into this resource that we have so that we are the #1 customers and clients of these industry, the tourism of the country, as well as just understanding what the board is doing in selling Kenya outside the border so that at the end of the day, more numbers come in. Remember, the president said at the end of 2027, we are supposed to be getting in around 5 million visitors who visit the country. While that is the vision, what is the plan behind the scenes that will enable us get there in terms of improving services in the industry, making it affordable for tourists to come into the country, making it affordable for Kenyans to be able to access these resources as well. And we shall be also having a conversation with Ben Muller, who's a governance consultant. And here is where we'll be breaking it down in terms of policy and how that then gets to feed into the entire ecosystem. So how policy is important in ensuring that our tourism is thriving as well as the MICE sector is thriving. Governance, the MICE sector and the tourism area of the country and how they all work together to say that the country's tourism is winning. It is a conversation that is starting right now. A little bit later, we shall be touching base with our reporters who are based at the Nyayo National Stadium to bring us up to speed on the field. Kenyans who are there, what is their expectation as the president will be giving his inaugural address. We shall be following up on that. And just to let you know, is that the roads towards Nyayo National Stadium, I'm from there not long ago, and everything seems to be moving smoothly. Security has been heightened, as well as Kenyans are streaming in numbers to be part of today. And those are live pictures that are coming to you live from the Nyayo National Stadium. As you can see, Kenyans are streaming in, and you're being told, Karibu, Karibu for the 62nd Jamhuri Day celebrations. And we shall be getting there with our reporters to give us an update on the situation there. And everyone who's supposed to be there, remember, the event will start and end at around 2 p.m. So if you're making your way there, make your way there now, because also keen to remember is that President William Ruto is a stickler of time. He will be there on time, and once he's there, the gates will be closed. Remember as well, this is a military function. And we expect as well the Haiti officers who landed back into the country, they will be part and parcel of this celebration, and we will give them their flowers because of the great job that they have done while in Haiti, securing the country and just offering security and bring normalcy to the Haiti nation. Those are Kenyans, many students who are there to be part of the process, donned in the national colors. Entertainment is rife, people enjoying themselves, and as well as we started the broadcast early in the morning just singing the patriotic songs here at KTN, because when you talk about Jamhuri, it is 62 years, 62 years is a huge number, but when you just think of it, those who fought to ensure that the country is here today and the patriotic songs that followed thereafter, it is important to remind ourselves the importance of being a republic, the importance of self-governance, the reason why today entertainment is part of this process. But remember, the event is themed around tourism. And when you talk about tourism, there is different sectors. Many would say our police officers went to Haiti. How does that affect the country? Remember, if Haiti is secure, if Haiti has peace, perhaps the good job that Kenyan police officers have done will make Haitians want to come into the country. If we go to our bilateral arrangements with the different countries, what are we selling? We're selling Kenya as a destination, not only just for tourism and safari, but a model destination for investment as well. It is an agenda that President William Ruto has been pushing. The country has been pushing that for many years. Kenya as a country where you can come invest, and even while investing, you have some room, wiggle room to play and enjoy yourself. Go enjoy our animals, enjoy our beaches, enjoy our fish in Kisumu, enjoy our rhinos, our elephants, and all the efforts that go with those who are preserving and taking care of these areas. You talk about the sanctuaries that we have, elephants being taken care of, fighting poachers on a daily basis, those who transfer animals from one location to the other, just so the population can continue to improve and so that these animals can continue to thrive. It is a lot of work that happens behind the scenes, protecting the sanctuaries, protecting our forests. There are places in this country where you're told if you want to enjoy birds, there are bird watching areas where you get to go to. You go to places like Kipio, where on a daily basis locals see the black panthers. Many travel far and wide coming to Kenya to see and have a view of the black panther, and not the Wakanda, but the black panthers of Kenya. The locals say this is a normal occurrence. We see these on a daily basis, but many come from far and wide to just have an experience of what we Kenyans live with on a daily basis. When you travel outside the country, many ask you, so how is Africa? Many think that Africa is a country, Africa is a continent, but the best response is we live with the animals. I am a son of a king, and I am here to see how we can have bilateral arrangements. It's simply because that is just who we are as Africans, and living with animals is our daily basis. Those who take care of these animals on a daily basis that make our tourism continue to grow. We continue to give you your flowers. But that notwithstanding, challenges as well that are there in the tourism industry. Lately, we've seen the problems that do exist in the Mara, and how are we going about it? How do we fix the problems that we see on a daily basis, especially in the Mara, the eighth wonder of the world, the wild beast migration, and how that then would be affected if the development that we see would happen. And conservationists have spoken, how will that affect the tourism of the country as well as, remember, when you talk about the Mara, right? So Mara on this side, Serengeti on the other side, and there is that bilateral arrangement and conversations from both sides to ensure that both sides do thrive. Because remember, wild beasts come to Kenya to feed, go back to Tanzania, and one would say these are the only citizens who do not need a visa nor a passport. And those are their parts that have existed for millions and millions of years. It's an interesting conversation because many usually just think that when you talk about matters to do with tourism, it's all about the animals. But the nitty-gritties, the behind the scenes is where the action is at. All we see at the end of the day is after the hard work of protecting the animals, the hard work that veterinary officers do to ensure that our animals get to do better. When we talk about conferences, now the mice industry, in terms of having world-class state-of-the-art facilities that would then go to welcome and encourage many to come to Kenya, because Kenya will not only offer you the ambience, the weather that we have here all year long that is conducive for many to just come and enjoy it, Other places today is winter and many are running away from the cold. Here we have the absolute amazing weather that encourages many to come. So then how are we positioning ourselves with all these that we have just to ensure that many do come to enjoy the weather, come to enjoy our conference facilities, that you're putting in place policies that would make this industry continue to thrive on a daily basis, as well as fixing the bolts and nuts that are loose in just ensuring that everything is moving smoothly. Remember, our reporters are on ground who will be bringing us up to speed on the mood from the ground, what the situation is like, the security, the Haiti police officers that are there, if they would manage to speak to them, including Kenyans, and their expectation today. I know a lot would be said today by the president and the leaders who would be there, and we look forward to that time. But in studio already, I have June Chepkemei, CEO, Kenya Tourism Board, Karibu Sana, and Simon Peter, Partnership Lead, MICE Ambassador, who will be helping us canvass the sector tourism as not only just the business of going to sightsee animals, but tourism as a wider spectrum in terms of conferences, in terms of even bringing investments into the country, you know, the multinational chain of hotels that are setting up in the country, because Kenya is a model destination where men can come enjoy and have a great time. All that is what we shall be discussing here in the studio this morning. And as I said earlier, those are live images that are coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium. As you can see, many Kenyans continue to throng in early in the morning, dreading their morning call just to be part of the conversation. The 62nd Jamhuri Day celebration that will be taking place from the Nyayo National Stadium. The event was supposed to be at Talanta, but it's not yet finished. Perhaps maybe next year we will be going at the Talanta to experience the good tidings that comes with it, that amazing stadium that is under construction. But when we talk about amazing, let's talk about the tourism sector. June. The tourism sector in the country continues to grow year on year. You know, you look at the government investment into making sure that the industry continues to grow. You look at the initiatives moving animals from one point to the other, selling our beaches, and even expanding it to some parts of the country. Homa Bay has also come out as a proper tourism destination center. And you look at all these investments, and one just asks the question, where are we in terms of tourism in the country? And as well as, well, Kenya, we do not go to enjoy our tourism places. How do we fix that?
Right. Thank you. We are in a good place, not exactly where we want to be. We have much more potential as a country in terms of growing the value that tourism brings to the economy. As you may be aware, the numbers have grown since independence from a few thousands to now 2.4 million international arrivals and slightly over 5 million local tourists. And when you look at the overall growth and contribution of tourism to the economy in terms of job creation and even revenue, just from slightly over 200 million in 2022 to now over 400 million in revenue, and we see a projection of $1 trillion by 2028. As you may be aware, tourism has a multiplier effect. It touches all facets of the economy. Just picture a tourist landing at JKIA, and immediately, for those who've flown in or out of the country, as you arrive, you're welcome. And there's always that message, watakaudumu ndege huu, watakaolaki ndege hii. Those are Kenyans who are coming to support the passengers disembarking. They will carry your luggage, and as you exit, someone will stamp your passport, your travel authorization. Those are Kenyans that are employed right there. As you exit the airport, there's always that taxi driver or that driver that is ready to pick you. That is a Kenyan who has fueled in a Kenyan petrol station or gas station. If you are going to a facility like a hotel, you'll meet the security guard at the entrance as a Kenyan. And as soon as you check in at the counter, there's always that Kenyan who is checking you in and booking you in. As you wait to be booked in, there's always a welcome drink. That welcome drink has been prepared by a Kenyan chef. And there's that fruit or vegetable that was planted by a Kenyan farmer somewhere. And all this, there's always somebody washing your room and cleaning your beddings and so forth. So it touches all facets of the economy. And so we are convinced that beyond the current value that tourism is bringing to the country in terms of forex and job creation, we are particularly elated by the fact that going into the future, it will be a major economic driver.
Economic drive. Simon, so here is a situation where we talk about tourism now from that perspective, right?
Yes.
But now there is the aspect of conference now that,
Yes.
that is coming up so strongly, you know,
Correct.
and Kenya is positioning itself as a destination of choice in terms of having conferences, you know. And many would say mice, you know, mice, and not the mice that we were taught in school, but mice as an important economic factor that supplements tourism. And for those who do not understand just how important is mice, just start by breaking it down and its importance to the economy and how it also just complements the traditional tourism as we know it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dennis. So first and foremost, thank you for the invitation. And actually, this week, it's our week. It's a Mice and Tourism Week. It's a week for us to shine. In fact, for the last 4 days, we've been at KICC having this conversation, of course, led by Madam June, so a great host here. So I will want to debunk what exactly mice. Mice is not the conventional, what you think, the animal factor, but mice basically means meetings, incentive, conference, and events. In fact, just to give you some quick numbers and statistics, Kenya is ranked 4th globally by ICA. So, and only 3% of the global mice business happens in Africa and Middle East combined. Of course, we have a lot of work to do. And actually, I remember this year when we hosted the Africa Mice Summit, some few days ago, is when we got the communique that the Jamhuri week will be themed under the theme of mice. And if you look at the multiplier effect of the mice industry, a mice delegate spends 3 times more than a tourist who is coming for leisure.
Which roughly would be how much?
If you look at it in terms of that numbers, for instance, I know June can second this, an average spend of a tourist around $1,000.
Yeah, about 180,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes, yes, exactly, 180,000 Kenyan shillings. So do that by times 3. You're talking about almost 500,000, 400,000 to 500,000. Yes, so you look at that number, and there is a lot of conversation. And in terms of the 2.4 million of the visitors that we got into the country this year, 27% account for the mice delegate. And Nairobi is coming up so well. And also we've been seeing a lot of investment in terms of infrastructure. And by infrastructure, I mean we have the Bomas International Convention Complex that is going to enhance Kenya's capacity. And something else we saw, it's this year the president waived visa to 52 African countries. That tells the goodwill that we have to ensure that we have more delegates coming into the country, and just to position Kenya as a mice destination. Look at it, Dennis, this way. So in fact, Kenya is referred as a gateway to Africa. So once you are here in Kenya, you'll get access to so many destinations here in Africa, and it's a most preferred. And in terms of business economy, Kenya is doing so well in terms of the economy. And if you look at how Nairobi is positioned, it's an economic hub, and it's a gateway for the East African community. So mice is an aspect that we really can't ignore. It's at the key pillar of tourism, and that's how impactful the mice industry is.
You see, June, every other year we get these numbers in terms of how the tourism sector has improved, how many numbers of tourists have come in. And let's look at how Kenya has performed in the past 1 year, you know. How has it been, and where we see we have gaps, how are we fixing that? Because at the end of the day, we want more numbers. More numbers mean better returns for the country. Better returns for the country means the economy is improving. The improving of the economy means better services, better roads, you know. So what are the numbers that we are seeing, and how do we then inject even some more to just continue sparring, because that's the goal?
Great question right there. And as I answer what are the numbers and what are we doing to allow me to input a little into the MICE conversation. Last month, Nairobi, in London, Nairobi was voted most preferred meeting destination in Africa.
Yes.
Yet, we do not have the kind of facilities that we should be having. And therefore, as we look at the numbers that we are targeting by 2028, you realize that the role of government is to build the kind of infrastructure that then the private sector can plug in to make it happen. Remember, a huge chunk of tourism is private sector led. It's actually purely private sector led. So what are the numbers like? Beyond the 2.4 million arrivals and the bed nights that you're registering, that and the local tourists, which we believe can be more. But the local tourists support the tourism sector at 70%. So all the value that we drive in tourism, 70% is from the local tourists. Yet we haven't, opened up the space much and created enough awareness about what Kenya has to offer. And therefore, together with the industry, we were able to then communicate the needs of the industry from MICE point of view, from bush point of view, that is safari, and from beach point of view. And what has government done? For the first time since 1979, the government of Kenya is investing in International Convention Center in Bomas.
All right, June, let's go to